Hello, BookTube. Well, I'm down on the floor again, which means it's library tour part 2. We're down in puppy territory, and I've got another. Any thrashing that you hear is Frida furiously destroying something. It's the background music of my life now. But I want to go through another stack of books. Just don't know if we'll do all of these or any of them, but the first one. So we're going to do one more. Vertical stack here. The first one is Startide Rising, David Brins, 82 or 83 or 84, early 80s science fiction classic about a ship that has humans and genetically modified dolphins and a genetically modified chimp, and it's set in a richly imagined future in which humans are the lowest rung on a ladder of a galactic civilization that doesn't much like them. And the starship Streaker makes an archaeological discovery whose full implications could bring that whole galactic order toppling down, and everybody knows it. So Streaker suddenly becomes hunted. And the book, it is so good. It is wonderful. A science fiction classic that is, as far as I know, never been reprinted and is almost completely unknown. You go to your science fiction section, you might see David Brin, but you won't see his backlist. I highly recommend it if you come across it. I read it when it first came out and thought, this is going to win every award in the industry, and it did, and it should have. It's a great novel. And it even has an old-fashioned chase scene at the end. I mean, it has a climax that's more multi-layered than that, but it also has an old-fashioned chase scene that's just great through the oceans of an alien world. Then this next one is a UK mass market of the first 49 stories of Ernest Hemingway. I liked the cover, even though I'm not really a fan of mass markets anymore. I liked, or actually printed books at all anymore. I'm on page 85, and I'm reading along. And what's that? I guess I have to find my place again. Lucky thing I remembered that it was page 85. What if I didn't? Oh, then I don't know. So I thought I got this. It was, I think, a dime, and it was a UK mass market of the first 49 stories of Ernest Hemingway, and I thought maybe the change of location will make you think different about the stories themselves. But no, no. This next one is one of these old Pelican anthologies. This is the Literary Critics, my own tribe. There's John Dryden's name front and center, but lots of others too. This is an anthology by George Watson of just classic literary criticism, starting with Dryden and moving forward to, I think, the early 20th century, with some just gems of work in there. Just as a book, sort of charting the beginning of things. It's just amazing. Don't really know what it's doing out here in the Netherlands. Oh, great. Okay. Another Pelican book. This is a fantastic series that they did of biblical commentaries, one for each gospel. This is St. Luke, an oddly thin volume. The one on the Gospel of St. John is twice this size. But Luke's Gospel is my favorite, and I love rereading these. They must be half a century old by now, or older. 1963. But it's their commentary is so spirited and so sound that it holds up. So I don't care at all. Oh, great. Okay, and these next 4 are along those same lines. These are UK Fontana mass market paperbacks. Also older, half a century old studies of their subjects, but fantastic. So you don't mind. And it's their overview of the British monarchy. This is J.P. Kenyon on the Stuarts, J.H. Plum on the first 4 King Georges, John Harvey on the Plantagenets, and Roger Fulford on the House of Hanover's transition to the House of Windsor. And there are others too. There are others. There's one on Anglo-Saxon kings, and I think one other. I don't seem to have them all together, but they are so pithy. They are so good. I wonder if I can find an example here on camera. Probably not. They're just the authors had the brief to cover their subject matter, and most of them did it in such a quotable way. They figured that they were writing for a really well-read audience, an audience that didn't need its handheld for the specifics. So they were able to just become very quotable, and that's what all these things are. They're very quotable. Let me see if we've got here. Leave it to me to find volumes that don't appear to have the. See, these are Charles II changed his ministers as easily as often as he changed his linen, and much of his immunity must be attributed to this sanitary precaution. Yeah, the mob at Carfax, mistaking Nell Gwyn's coach for the Portsmouths, gave it a good jostling. The young comedienne threw them into a transport of delight by sticking her head out of the window and shouting, "Pray, good people, be civil. I am the Protestant whore." And on and on. I mean, these volumes must be doubles, because I know that I have a set of these in which everything quotable is underlined, nothing is here. But this is a great set. If you see it and you're wondering about a good overview of the various houses of the British monarchy, you can't go wrong. The one, obviously, that's conspicuously missing here is the Tudors. It must be somewhere else. I use the Tudors, and I've underlined it more often than any of the others. So it must be elsewhere. Then the next one is by Michael Reeves and Steve Perry. This is Star Wars Death Star, a novel about the construction of the Death Star that gets into all sorts of nitty-gritty, and yet was wonderful. I found it very readable. Steve Perry is the co-author here. He is an old-school hack who can't write a boring sentence, so I attribute probably a lot of that to him. Then the next one is these old. I've praised these before on this channel. These are the old Viking Portable Library series. I love them. They're so good. And if you see them at charity shops or flea market sales or whatever, used bookstores, they're a great place to start on their subject, whether it's the Roman world, the Greek world, the Victorian world, any of the various authors that they did, Whitman and Melville and Thoreau and all that. And this one is the World Bible, the Viking Portable World Bible, which is a collection of all the sacred texts of mankind, the major ones, just in one book. And I love it. I had to reinforce it with tape because I've read it so often. And I wish, again, I've said this before on this channel and in print, I wish that Viking Penguin would go back into their archives, find the texts of this whole series of Viking Portables, and reprint them. But reprint them in, do I have an example here? Reprint them in tough little commemorative mass markets, or even little paperbacks like this as a set. I just wish they had a second life. I wish you didn't have to find them in used bookstores. And then the last one for today is an old penguin. This is The Writing on the Wall by the great Mary McCarthy. Just a collection of her occasional writing, her nonfiction that I love. There's literary criticism in here. There are occasional essays. And it used to be that I would scour bookstores for any Mary McCarthy, but Library of America is they've already come out with her novels, and they're about to come out with her nonfiction, a lot of it, a chunk of it. So with any luck, she will start to make her way into Penguin classics and whatnot, and then I won't have to hold on to heirlooms like this, because this is wonderful, and it's a penguin, so it's the binding is fairly good, but still it's not up to repeated rereadings. And there you go. That is another just random stack of mass market paperbacks on this library tour. And I'm gonna get up out of puppy territory, but I will come back, and I will see you soon. Thank you, BookTube.